Hello, everybody. This is Mike Nelson of KDMA and Bigfoot FM. I'm here with Ruth Ann of the Montevideo Hollywood on Main Theater. How are you doing today, Ruth?
Good. Glad to have you here.
Thanks. Appreciate it. So what's your position here with the theater?
I purchased the theater in October of, about 12 years ago now. And prior to that, it had been remodeled into an event center. But in 1937, it was built as a movie theater, and it was pretty grandiose for that day. 711 theater seats, and it has tunnels underneath the building that used to have water running through them and a fan on top of that to get cool air going, probably original air conditioning. The tunnels are still there. We had some problems in the 80s. They had to close down the theater because of the roof leaking. And to begin with, they just rope off the first 8 rows and you'd be watching during raindrops. And then they finally had to close it. And after it closed, there were trees and everything growing in here. All the seats had molded and mildewed. And some years later, this was in like the late 80s that it was closed. And they decided some of the businessmen wanted to save the Hollywood up and down marquee outside. And after they sold light bulbs to salvage that, they decided maybe it was cheaper to renovate the building than to tear it down, because it would not be cheap to tear down a concrete building. So then after the guys got that project completed, and I'm so glad I wasn't here to see when bobcats were in here shoving the seats together and just repairing everything. But after they got that done, they decided the 10 or however many businessmen it was, decided that was too many to decide what to do with it. So then Jerry Ross purchased it from the other members and turned it into an event center. And I worked for him a couple of years doing marketing and bookings and things for him. And he passed away. Didn't quite answer all my questions about the place, but his family put the place up for sale. And after some time, I talked to my husband, and since our first date had been here at the Hollywood, he said, "You can give it a try." So he calls it my baby. And it's kind of Grandma's Playhouse. The kids have loved to come here and perform in some of our musical performances that we've had. And since that time, we are utilized quite often through the school system for various plays and musical productions that they do here. Since we don't currently have a fine arts building, I'm glad this space is available for the kids to use. They enjoy the old history of the place. They're full of questions. Some of them don't even know who Elvis was, and since he's a primary topic out in my lobby, they find out all about him from me. Great fan. They always ask if he performed here, and I said, I only wish. I'm looking forward to having the comedy tour upcoming from the Inkstead Media Group, and I'm making the plans for the Elvis show, and Anthony Shore will be portraying Elvis, and he will do some of the Christmas music as well, since it's a December 1st program. I'm trying to book Gary West. He does some Johnny Cash and other music. And we have a murder mystery theater coming up. And keep an eye out for those dates and times and ticket information.
Now, of course, on Thursday, October 12th, we're going to have the Inkstead Comedy Tour, stopping by Joe Zimmerman, Tim Harmson. Can you give me more information on how people can purchase tickets and more information on the event?
Go to wheelerdealermn.com and to purchase their tickets, and they are able to get either a $19 VIP seat or the regular ticket costs are $16. And we will have food and beverage provided by Shooters of Appleton. for that evening.
Yeah, the doors are at 6 o'clock. The show starts at 7. That's going to be the event time there on that Thursday night. Now, talk to me a little bit more about what kind of shows you mentioned. The school has shows here at the theater. Any other kind of shows you guys have here at the Hollywood on Main?
I've had a number of different musical performances from Tonic Sulfa's group, and then also Sean Johnson of that group has the big band experience. That was a lot of fun to have here. I've had Church of Cash. We had Blackstead Brothers, which performed Everly Brothers music.
Now, the theater's called Hollywood on Main. Do you know the origin behind that? Why it's called Hollywood on Main?
That was something I came up with just based on, it was the Hollywood Theater way back when. And I wanted to get away from the theater name since people still call and ask what movies I'm showing. So I'm thinking I need to develop one of my husband or something that I could show. But I just like the idea of on Main Street.
Now, why do you think it's important to have like a community theater in a small town like Montevideo? Why do you think it's important?
Montevideo has a long history of community theater in the area. And I remember growing up going to some various productions that were held at the top of the mall, which is the building kind of kitty corner across, quite tall. And on the top floor, they would have the play productions. I recall Doc and Bev Lambert having big parts in them and being a wealth of resource for costuming and that type of thing. There was a lot of interest in it. And more currently, I'm hearing people going over to participate in like Wilmer Productions and Marshall, and I'm thinking those folks need to find their way to my stage, and we do some of that fun stuff here because there are some great plays out there waiting to be done.
Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, everybody.